Let's turn now to some general guidelines about how to manage scarcity. Scarcity traps can't be solved by a simple decision or new knowledge, but if you're aware of how scarcity traps can take hold, there are steps you can take to try to loosen the grip of the trap. The key insight, again, is the connection between resource scarcity and mental scarcity, and how those two can amplify each other. Conventional approaches to scarcity just try to deal with the resource side of the problem, and that's why they focus on income generation. But this overlooks the mental bandwidth aspect of the problem. And mental bandwidth is what creates the trap. Mental bandwidth, as we discussed before, is the limited energy we have to think about things. The mental energy we have for self-control and to make difficult choices. The more burden we put on our mental energies, the more likely we are to slip into the behavior patterns that deepen the scarcity trap. So think of this example of someone trying to lose weight by going on a diet, for example. One of the best pieces of advice for dieters is to eat before going to the market. Why? Because when they're hungry, it takes more mental effort to avoid the temptation to buy and eat snacks. But if they have a full belly when they go to the market, it will not be as difficult to buy only healthy things, or even to buy a little bit less. In other words, the tactic of going to the market with a full belly is a strategy for economizing mental energy. This is a good general guideline. In situations of scarcity, be conscious of the stresses on your mental energy. Take steps to reduce your mental load and avoid making important decisions at times when you know you will be experiencing a lot of mental load. Let's take farmers as another familiar example. So this chart comes from coffee growers in Central America, but it describes a pattern you can find in Africa and Asia as well. The seasonal cycle of farming means that farmers have most of their money after harvest. And then they are most stressed about money around planting time, when the money has run out. It's not uncommon for farmers at the beginning of planting time to spend too much on seeds, to skip things like fertilizer, or to take on too much debt. But if they could choose to do all their buying and preparation around harvest time, when they have a lot of money, when they are not feeling scarcity, when their minds are not tunneling on scarcity, they will find it easier to make better long-term decisions because they have more mental bandwidth to be thoughtful about their choices. In fact, there are some development programs that do precisely this. So one more general guideline is to find structural supports or other influences to bring important reminders into the tunnel. There can be small practical ways to try to take important things from outside the tunnel and bring them inside. If we can recognize that this is hard to do for ourselves on our own energy, and that sometimes our mental energy, we may not have enough to do this, we can look for supports from outside. Business leaders, for example, they often hire assistants to do this job for them, to give them reminders. And many people can also create reminders on their calendars and things like that. But you can also get support from others to help keep you conscious of important issues that you will tend to overlook as you tunnel on the urgent issues of your daily life. So there are other tricks and examples that we can look at together, but even though they vary in detail, they hinge on this same principle. If you want to manage your resources better, whether it's money or anything else, you need to consciously manage your mental energy as well. A question for reflection then. At what point during the day or week do you feel like you have the most space and energy to think clearly? Do you make your most important decisions at this time?